you. Senator Young.
Well, I want to thank the Ambassador and Secretary for your hard work on this important issue of trafficking. Mr. Sullivan, on May 9th in your nomination hearing, you were kind enough to indulge a number of different requests that I made of you, and you immediately followed up proactively with a letter. Thank you for your responsiveness and thoughtfulness in that letter. You've taken action steps, and I'm grateful for all of that. The first issue I raised with you in that May 9th hearing pertained to the General Accountability Office. I think that this is an underutilized institution of our federal government. I mean, they really provide some critical feedback on programmatic issues, organizational issues, and so forth. And I commend, for example, the Department of State for taking their recommendation to improve the clarity and usefulness of this year's TIP report. So that's an example of the sort of thing where they often add value. I note that as of this morning, GAO's website reports there are 57 publications from GAO with a total of 125 open recommendations for the Department of State, including 28 priority recommendations that haven't been implemented or fully implemented. Now, some of these open recommendations relate to issues like human trafficking, or diplomatic security or security assistance, so really consequential issues. And I want to make sure I'm very fair and clear here. I'd note that 125 open recommendations is down from the 132 in May. But I would hope that we might continue to make rapid progress towards addressing some of these. I'd also note that the number of priority recommendations has increased since we last visited, from 22 to 28. So can you just provide me, Mr. Secretary, with an update on your efforts to ensure State fully and appropriately responds to GAO's recommendations?
Yes, thank you, Senator Young. The statistics you cite are important and troubling. The fact that there are as many open items as there are, and that's reflected in recent statistics from the GAO from June. I think we had a letter from on June 5th from the Comptroller General with 28 priority recommendations and that the State Department needs to address. And you mentioned the recommendation with respect to the TIP report, which is one which we've implemented. I committed to you at my confirmation hearing, and I recommit today, and I apologize that I haven't been as quick in getting back to you on the GAO open recommendations as I should have been, but they are a priority for me, both the GAO and our Inspector General recommendations, which we also have to respond to and implement. I will say that it is a government-wide issue. I think the same statistics that the GAO provided show that we probably have an above-average response rate compared to the rest of the federal government. But that's still not good enough.
Yeah, no. Thank you for your good work, for your recommitment to get this done. I'm not going to benchmark you against the general federal government. That's pretty low standard from my view. So, but thank you very much. Some positive news. The second issue I raised in my nomination hearing, you might recall, related to problems many Americans are experiencing. You mouthed it. You verbalized it. Adoption. Bringing home legally adopted children from Ethiopia. We had some really good news in my state. Working with your folks over at the State Department, the Ethiopian ambassador, who deserves a shout-out. 122 members sent a letter that I helped lead to the Ethiopian Prime Minister. So a lot of actors involved here, but we were able to, in our office, welcome home a new Hoosier, Janine, to Indiana last month, the son of John and Rachel Orrin of Fishers, Indiana. Thank you to you and your professionals. Last thing I want to do is commend you for your leadership, your professionalism, not just consulting with Republicans and Democrats, people who've held your job and other jobs to help inform you better about your coming work, but you've emphasized the importance of the professionals at State. at USAID. We want them to feel respected. We want their work we want them to understand that their work is important. I've always operated under the popular assumption that there's kind of three distinct disciplines in the national security forum. We have diplomacy, we have development, we have defense, right? And development has its own unique skills, culture, and approaches. Would you agree with that assessment?
Certainly, Senator.
Okay. I also presume that whatever reforms we undertake at state and USAID will involve maintaining a skilled and experienced development workforce, professional staff who understand the art and science of development. Is that a correct assumption?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.